Today we're going to take a look at this is the Incite from CIVIVI, and I'll tell you right now, it's a great knife, but it has one really weird flaw I have never experienced in a knife ever. Hey, how you doing? My name is Jay, and if this is your first time here, welcome to my channel, and consider clicking on subscribe if you're looking for knife reviews that get right to the point. And right now you should be looking at some specs up on the screen. Now these are measurements that I did go ahead and I took myself, but I'll also list them for you down in the description below, just in case if you want to follow along throughout this review. We're going to talk about what I like about this knife, and then of course what I don't. But first, why don't we go ahead and let's size this knife up so you can get an idea of what you're working with today. And we'll start out with the Spyderco PM2. Here's a knife I don't whip out very often, the Spyderco Endura 4. Ooh, now how about this one from Cold Steel, the Recon 1. Speaking of knives I don't whip out very often, the Buck 110. And then let's finish up this section with another CIVIVI and the Backlash. The Incite has pretty much all of the features that we have come to expect from our CIVIVI knives. I mean, the D2 blade steel, satin finish, and a very nice forward finger choil that you can actually use. And how about that blade shape? Look at that. I absolutely love the shape of this drop point. Look, it is a really nice high, like flat grind. There is just a little bit of flats going on here up at the top, so those of you that like to use like maybe the clamp style sharpeners, you should be able to do that here. And of course the action it's just fantastic in both directions, really. You can see it does kind of drop shut. It requires just a little bit of shake, but also, and those of you that like to do like the thumbnail closure, you have plenty of room like where the detent is positioned, so you can close the knife that way if you like to. And there's a couple of reasons for that good action. I mean, it's going to be the ball bearing pivot going on the inside, and I'm going to call it just a little bit better than average detent, because I can pretty much fail it in the deployment like whenever I want. But let's check though. Nope. Yeah, I didn't think so. You usually can't with CIVIVIs, and you can see I'm not able to shake the blade loose. So that means that detent is at least strong enough, you know, for the blade retention. And something else that just impressed the heck out of me is that you see this the pivot screw, which does, of course, it is captured, but that pivot is completely like tightened down completely, and it still has that really good action. So that's just always, you know, a good sign of quality. And that pocket clip is going to be, it's just the standard one that we're used to seeing from CIVIVI. So it's going to be just the tip up only, deep carry. But unfortunately, it's for righties. Yeah, no lefty love this time. But at least what they did do, check it out. You can see it is kind of, you see the attachment point it's recessed into the scale, unlike the CIVIVI Backlash. You can see, yep, this clip is just kind of sitting on top of the G10, and this one is recessed. I love that. So it kind of makes up for the lack of the movable clip, I guess. Since the Incite, it is, you know, it is a little bit on the larger side of things, but you can see here with my medium-sized hand, oh yeah, look at that. You got plenty of room. So those of you with the larger hands will absolutely love this knife. And I want to show you now one of the reasons why the handle is so comfortable is because if you kind of stare down the sights there, you can see, yeah, these the ebony wood scales, they are in fact, they have a little bit of contouring going on. If you're thinking that this design looks very similar, you would be correct, because this is very close to one of CIVIVI's earlier releases, the Praxis. Now there's really only two major differences between the Incite and the Praxis. One being the blade steel. This of course is D2. The Praxis is that 9CR 18 MOV, and the price, which, you know, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Before I go ahead and toss this up on the scale, I just want to show you that you can see it's going to be backspacer construction, and look at that. Yep, there is like that lanyard post is hidden. I like to see that. And if you check out the inside, you can see, yeah, both liners have been extensively milled out in an effort to keep that weight down. Let's see how they did with that. They did pretty darn good. I mean, this is a larger knife, so 4.3 ounces. That is going to be roughly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about, oh geez, exactly 5 AA batteries. Or now I want to check. Okay, so it's a little bit lighter than the Recon one, and I'm betting it's a little bit heavier, which it is, a little bit heavier than the CIVIVI Backlash. And I have previously reviewed the Cold Steel Recon 1, so if at the end of this video, if you're interested, go ahead, yeah, you see up there, look at that corner, you can click on that icon, and it will take you to my full review of the Recon 1. And I just want to go ahead and remind you really quickly that if you stick around until the end, because I have a really quick, easy modification that you can make to this Incite, which will just add some more functionality to it. But you got to stick around to see that. Right now, we're going to do one of my favorite things in the whole wide world, and that's we're going to see how well this 3mm blade stock. Let's see how well it cuts. Oh, wow, really? That, man, that is like 2 CIVIVIs in a row that are fantastic slicers. I mean, did you see that? I mean, it tears through this cardboard. That is excellent. And now, unfortunately, just like with all knives, I mean, there's a couple things that, I don't like about the Incite. And the first one, you're probably going to be able to guess. And it's the fact that this pocket clip, that there is just no lefty love with this. Especially considering the price, which we'll get to in a second. There's really no excuse for at least just putting like one hole on the other side, because you can go ahead and use the existing one to hold the clip. And my second dislike is, well, regarding this forward choil. Now, it works fine for my medium-sized hand, but now hear me out here, because the Incite, this is a larger knife, so this is going to be able to accommodate those larger hand sizes. Those of you that have larger hands also will have larger, fatter fingers, and my finger with my medium-sized hand just fits this choil. And my last issue with the Incite, this is the big one. This is the weird one. Now, if you take a look at these ebony wood scales, okay, so it has these like kind of these vertical lines milled into it, and you can hear them there when I rub my thumbnail on it. So when you're moving your fingers or your hand like up and down, you can really feel the traction, and it is quite good. However, I have dropped this knife so many times, because if you take your thumb and let's say you rub the scales with the grain, so with those milled lines, it is very, very slick. I mean, it feels like there is absolutely no traction. And I've noticed when I drop this, it's usually when I'm trying to deploy the blade, because I'm kind of just pinching it here with my 2 fingers, and it causes the knife to slip right out of my hand. But as far as I know, okay, so this is only going to affect 2 of the 6 total different versions of the Incite. So this one being the ebony wood, and then that lighter wood, I know that one also has the very same lines, going in the same direction. The carbon fiber and G10 versions, as far as I can tell, do not have that. But any of you that have this in the carbon fiber and G10, hey, sound off down in the comment section. Does it have the same kind of lines milled into the scales? And are you having any problems with dropping this knife? Let me know. What I've been starting to notice is that their CIVIVI's prices are slowly kind of creeping up there. I mean, especially, you know, considering how much, what does the backlash go for now? Like what like $42, maybe even $50 at the most. And now for $72, I just hope that they remember this is a budget brand, and that's a big part of why we enjoy these CIVIVI knives, because they give us good blade steel in the D2, and the quality, you know, it's going to be WE Knife Company quality, which is absolutely fantastic. But just remember, you know, this is a budget brand. So should you buy this knife? And I'm going to go ahead and say absolutely. Absolutely. Especially if you're someone, if you have, like, you know, you have a larger hand, or let's say you have a Praxis and you can't stand those gold liners. Oh, heck yeah, definitely get this. And if you do, go to White Mountain Knives and please use my coupon code. Oh, and that modification, here it is. I just went on Amazon and I purchased one of those quick thumb studs. I don't know, they're between like $5, $8, something like that. I'll include a link down in the description below. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this knife is just like begging for thumb studs. So now by adding that, I mean, it just gives it a little bit more functionality. You get the multiple deployment options, and who the heck does not appreciate that? I wish CIVIVI would start doing that with more of their models. Huh, a boy can dream, right? If you got any value from this video, hey, maybe just leave, I don't know, a thumbs up. Those are great. And don't forget, click on subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next video. Take care.